Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my 2020 beauty regrets. So these are all the things that I purchased, new products in 2020 that in hindsight I look back and I'm like, now some things I definitely disliked more than others. One or two things you may actually be surprised to see because you saw a review and kind of got the impression that I was okay with it, even though generally in my reviews I give the pros and cons. I kind of give you my opinion based on my experience of it. Some things that I have definitely hated and made a point of saying please don't buy it. This year I've actually got only a couple of things, which to me just goes to show that yes, I was very strict in terms of the things that I purchased in 2020. I didn't buy as much makeup as I normally do, probably because I was buying so much skincare, which in all honesty is so worth it because I'm loving how my skin is. Touch wood, I'm very happy with it. So I'm going to start off with things from the beginning of 2020 that I really didn't like and then move on towards the end of the year. So the first one is this product right here by Too Faced. It is called the Turn Up the Light complexion enhancing highlighting palette, and I bought mine in the shade medium. And I have to say that every single one of these products I'm going to show you today, I have done reviews on them, so feel free to check them out if you want information in a little bit more detail, because this is not technically a review video. Now this barely shows up on me. It's so tightly packed in that it's very difficult to actually get any product to come off on a brush. It's almost invisible. See, I just rub my hand on the soft focus bit in the middle and you can just see maybe a hint of something, and that's it. The highlighters, again, they barely show up at all on the skin. This actually doesn't even look like it's been used, despite the fact that I have dug brushes into it. Every single brush you can think of, I have really kind of given it my all strength and nothing's come off. It is a worthless product. It is a pointless product. It's an expensive product as well, because let's be honest, Too Faced is not a cheap brand by any means. However, this let me down heavily. I think this came out in around January, February time, and I probably used it a couple of times then, or I tried to, and then it is literally sat there gathering dust. I'm not even making it up. I had to clean this before I came out because it had just been sat there untouched. These now you've heard me moan about many times. Even in my products that I hate from Fenty to the review video itself, these are the Snap Shadows by Fenty Beauty. Now I've got 4 of them. I've got number 4, number 5. They click together basically. For those of you that don't know, they're eyeshadow palettes that are travel friendly, and they're called Snap Shadows because you click them together and it's just to make them easier and more compact to travel. So this is number 1 and number 8 as well. The quality is poor. The pigmentation is poor. The longevity is poor. There's nothing good about this at all. Maybe just the color makeup like put together. That's probably about it. But Fenty Beauty definitely has some of the worst eyeshadows on the market. Even their larger palettes are absolutely awful. The pigmentation is just not that good. These easily rub off within an hour or two if you make the mistake of touching your eye. Even using eyeshadow primer, these just do not show up as well as they should do, especially if you are somebody like me who owns a lot of makeup and a lot of eyeshadow palettes and compare it to other palettes. And these are not cheap by any means. They're quite pricey. What are they, like 24, 25 pounds each? Times that by 4. How much money have I wasted on these that have literally done nothing? If I really had to desperately choose which one was my favorite, I'd probably say number 8. But that's because it contains no matte eyeshadows. They're all shimmery, and that's the only thing that kind of saves them, because the shimmery ones are a little bit more pigmented. They're a little bit more creamier. However, generally most people tend to pair shimmery shadows with something matte. The mattes just are awful. They just are clunky, and there's nothing good I can say about these at all. I hate them. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. The next one is this absolutely beautiful, aesthetically gorgeous cheek palette by Natasha Denona. This is the Love Glow cheek palette. This came out around Valentine's. There was a eyeshadow palette that also came out with it. It did not make it into my favorites video, but it's also not made it into my regrets because it's just a meh. I wasn't a big fan of that eyeshadow palette. However, it was not necessarily a regret because I do still use it. Now, to look at it, it's absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous, pinky shimmery shades. Then it's got the gold highlighter. It's got the cream product and another shimmery one, as well as this plastic cover that covers the creamy one to stop any powder getting on top of it. Now, the problem that I had with this is applying it to my face. Now the shimmery shades are just too shimmery, and unfortunately when I put my blush brush in, it is very difficult for the product to actually pick it up itself. Now apparently you can use your fingers, but I'm sorry, I generally tend to get ready quite quickly in the mornings. If I have to go to work or wherever I'm going, I do not have time to be using my hands and slowly building it up. When I wear blusher, I'm literally 1, 2 and I go, and that's it. Now because these shimmery shades also has so many glitter particles in them, it drops all over the face. It doesn't look flattering at all. The cream product is okay, but again, I'm not going to buy an entire palette just for the purposes of 1 or 2 products. All 4 need to work well, and I just find that this palette just does not meet my expectations of what I would expect a brand such as Natasha Denona to have. For the price that they charge, what is this, like £60, £50? I want it to be excellent, and it's not even good. Ah, the Huda Beauty Silk Balm. God, you guys, the amount of hate I remember saying to you lot last year, the amount of hate I got on that video because so many people disagreed with the fact that I thought this was crap. This isn't even remotely good, it's rubbish. And for me to use the term rubbish means that I must really dislike it. Now, I remember saying at the time, or I found out afterwards, I was actually the first person in the whole world that had done a review video. And when you're the first person in the world to do a review video or any kind of video on a certain product or service or whatever it is, you will get a lot of hits, and with that you'll get a lot of hate. Now, I thought I was doing people a favour by giving them my honest reviews that this, even though the fact that it's in the shade blush, it kind of shows up like white on my lips. And the way that Huda Beauty has shown it is that it's all pink and luscious, and it is anything but. It comes off easily, it rubs off easily. I don't find it moisturising at all. It kind of just sits on top of the lips like a really gross, sticky kind of lip gloss, and it just does nothing. And I don't know why so many people were just reluctant to believe me. Like, I even showed it, but instead people are insulting the colour of my lips, my skin tone, my ethnicity, the way that I talk. I mean, these people ain't right in the head, trust me. I've always said this, and I will say it again and again. I personally do not buy a product before watching a review. I don't understand those people out there that buy a product, watch a review, and because the person is giving it a bad review, they instantly give them hate and abuse. I don't understand. Like, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm just here to tell you the truth. Oh, this one here. Now, this was one that I did not necessarily give a bad review for. However, over time, I've just decided that it's just not for me. It's definitely not something that I reach for often. I very rarely reach for it. And this is the Too Faced Matte Instant Coverage Peach Concealer, and my shade is in Honeycomb. Now, this is a very thick concealer. It is a matte. Oh, it does smell lovely though. It shows how often it's been opened that it's managed to retain its scent for so long. Now, the thing is, I've got normal to combination skin, but under my eye area can be quite drying, and this just emphasizes the dryness under my eyes. I just found it very difficult to use, very difficult to blend out. I personally like creamy concealers because you're able to control how it sits along the bottom of your eyes and on your face. You're able to control the amount that goes on. It doesn't go patchy and blotchy, which can happen with products such as these. These require too much hard work in my mind. Again, I'm the kind of person who needs quick, who needs convenience, who needs fast, doesn't have time to faff around with their makeup, spending hours and hours on it. And I just don't find that this works as well for under eyes. Now, on the face, this works perfectly fine because you're not really dealing with any kind of contours like you are under the eyes. However, this is best applied with a brush, but the problem is that you can't get that smooth application under the eyes. One area will always have more concealer than the other area, and it's almost dry straight away, so you can't really manipulate it and move it around. And because of that, one area which may have more concealer than is necessary, it will kind of crepe up, it will kind of emphasize the lines under your eyes, and because of those reasons, this is a bit of a regret for me this year, unfortunately. Oh, we got another Huda Beauty product here. This is the Legit Lashes. Now, every review that I've seen on this is on somebody who's already got long eyelashes or thick eyelashes. I don't understand people. And they're like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's so great. Yeah, but you already got amazing eyelashes. So shush. Somebody like me who's got short, stumpy, wispy eyelashes, completely different to what my actual hair is like, I thought this was crap. I mean, it's got a volume end. So basically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to build up that volume. Yeah, well, obviously the more I apply it, the more fibers and liquid product get attached. So obviously it's going to have volume. But if anything, the more you apply, the more spidery and gross they become. And then on the other end, you've got the curl and length. Now, even though this is kind of in a curved shape, it don't give no curl. You have to use eyelash curlers. Why call it curl when it can't give curl? I would have preferred if they've just left it as length, because sometimes I have been known to use it on my lower lash line, or I'm more likely to use this on my top lashes than the volume side because it's not as clumpy. However, this gave me panda eyes. I remember this came out in, I think it was around May, June time. The weather was beautiful and hot and sunny in the UK, or in London in particular. And I went to see my friend. We went for a nice long walk in the park. And I said to her, so I've got the new Huda Beauty Legit Lashes mascara on. What do you think? She was like, Charlena, you've got panda eyes. I was like, what? I don't remember the last time a mascara gave me panda eyes. Most mascaras these days are generally quite good and they don't transfer. That's so like 1995. I mean, the quality of this is just not that good. I shouldn't be getting panda eyes just because I feel a little bit hot. And I always wear mascara on my lower lash line, always. I don't ever get any kind of transfer or moving. I use a Maybelline one and this one costs like 20 quid. So I just don't think that it's worth the money, and I just don't think that it performs that well either. Now I've got two more things to show you guys, and these are more towards the end of 2020. Now this may be a bit of a surprise. It is the new Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. My shade is in Stromboli number 3. I tried, you guys. I tried to like it. I've even used it probably about that much. I just can't. It just does not have that longevity. It makes me look like I've got a mask on my face. It starts to break up very, very quickly on the face. And even though it's called soft matte, it still kind of gives that shine on the face after a certain amount of hours. And the oils come through, break it down, and you look absolutely awful. I just don't find this Nars foundation to be good as some of the other ones, and unfortunately that's why this is a regret. Now the last one I'm going to show you, I was toying with whether or not I should have it in this video, but technically it came out in December and I hate it. I actually despise this product. I have tried, I have used it in so many different ways. I've used it on its own, I've used it on top of foundation, I've used it to touch up my makeup, and I still can't stand it. And that is the brand new Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. My shade is in 290. This is a matte foundation that makes you oily. Even one of my closest friends who's got super oily skin, she bought this in the hopes that it would mattify her skin, and it made her even oilier. There is something in Fenty's foundations that does not work with the oils within your skin. I don't know what it is, whether it's their hydrating foundation, whether it's this one. Their soft matte original one, not so bad, but this one, no. All it does is make me look like I've got a mask on my face. It breaks down very, very quickly, and the oils in your skin actually fight with this, and the oils win. They do. This does keep my skin quite matte, but I remember I wore this. What day was it that I wore this? I think I wore it on New Year's Eve, and we're in lockdown in the UK. I didn't go anywhere. I was at home. I was up until 2 or 3 a.m. and I looked at my skin as I was about to get ready for bed, and I was like, you know what, this does keep my skin quite matte for most of the day, but when it starts to break down, boy does it break down. I looked awful. I looked aged, I looked shiny, I looked patchy, and I just don't think that this is a good foundation at all. If anything, I prefer this one to this one. This is a complete and utter, I can't stand it. It's awful. I would not recommend it whatsoever. So that's it, quite short and sweet. Hopefully you guys will be happy that I didn't actually have that many regrets and I had more favorites than regrets, because at the end of the day, we like to know that we haven't wasted that much money. I mean, there's about £200-300 worth of stuff there, but you know what, I'll find uses for some of them. I do still use the mascara. I do still sometimes use the concealer. The lip balm, no. I'd rather just use Carmex, thank you very much. And this one is fine for touch-ups-ish, but even then, I'd rather use blotting powder. So yeah, so that's it for my 2020 regrets. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Let me know what your thoughts are about these products. Are there any that you would like to add to this that maybe I hadn't tried because I just didn't want to buy it, and maybe it was a good thing that I didn't? And let me know what your thoughts are about some of these products. Remember, please, these are just my opinions based on my experience. Don't get all offended because I didn't like your favorite eyeshadow palette or your favorite mascara or something, you know. It's all fun and games, you guys. It's not worth getting upset over. Anyway, and on that note, I'm going to love you all and leave you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.